Hello and welcome to the Learn tutorial. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how you can make a Frogger style game where you've got to get across the road and then get across the river. Let's jump onto these. And the idea is you've got to collect the fly. Each time you collect a fly you get one more score, and as the game goes along you can make it harder and harder by putting enemies in, or maybe making the boats or things go faster, those sorts of things. Okay, let's get started. So first thing we need to do is we need to create ourselves a new project by clicking create, and once that pops up we'll create this setup here. So here we go, let's go to the stage and let's click on the backdrop, and here if we click on backdrops what we'll do is let's go to convert to bitmap and just select your colours. Let's create some bits of the stage here. So there we go. Why is that not working? There we go. So there's the bottom bit where the frog starts. Let's do that there. There we go. Put a little bit in the middle. You can use different colours, but I'm just doing a basic version here, a nice simple version to get you started. Obviously if you want to do a fancy version then please do. There we go. There's a nice green bit at the end. There we go. About there maybe. And just change that to the dark colour that we want for the river. Be there, maybe that should do it. Let's just do some little inlets there for the river. There we go. And I'll do Control C, Control V, and that will allow us to copy the exact shape. Control V again. There we go. And Control V again. There we go. And that should give us 4 little pads there. You could do more, but it's entirely up to you. And then what we'll do is we'll click on Fill. Click there. Oh, no. Click on the fill there. If you click on the eyedropper tool there, and then click on the river there, hey, there you go. Got that little bit of a thing there to fill as well. There you are. So there's the top bit there with the river, and we'll do a dark bit there for the road there. So let's go here, and we'll just drop the brightness down, and there you go. So now what we've got is we've got the start pad, the road, the safe bit in the middle, and the river. Good. So there's our backdrop sorted. I think what we'll do actually here is we'll just sort that bottom bit here. It's got a little bit there. Let's click there. Use the eyedropper tool again to. What is it doing that? Yeah, it's a bit buggy today, isn't it? There we go. Just move that up slightly. Yeah, brilliant. So that'll do. There's our backdrop. Okay, so we got our backdrop. Now what we need to do is we need to create our frog to go across the road. So we'll click choose a sprite and we'll just look for the frog. There's our frog, excellent. And let's put him down there. Brilliant, there we go. Now he's a little bit big, and also we can get rid of scratch now. There you go. So our frog's a little bit big, so what we'll do here is we'll click on the costume. Click on there. Let's get rid of his tongue, I don't want his tongue today. And select him. And make him smaller like that. So you've got about the right size frog. Now on my game I had a slightly larger frog because I've only got 3 lanes of traffic, but if you want to do 4 cars, 5 lanes of traffic and bigger ones here, then just make your frog a bit smaller. What you do need to do is make sure that you drag your frog back over the little crosshair there. Hey, brilliant, there we go. Good. So there's the frog to start off with. And let's get him moving. So if we go to code, there we go. And for this one, what we'll do, a nice simple way of moving for this one. Use this tool here. Let's make that a bit bigger. So when the up arrow pressed, what we'll do is we'll change his Y coordinate by 10. In fact, no, we'll do 20, shall we? Yeah, let's do 20. So now if I press up arrow, he'll go up. And then we'll right click, duplicate that, and we'll do the down arrow, change Y by -20. Good, up, up, down, down. Brilliant, that's okay. And Now what we'll also do is duplicate that again for the left and right, but we can't change the Y this time. We are changing the X axes. This time we'll do right, and we'll change it by 20. So as you probably know in maths, the y-axis is the vertical axis. So any time you change y, you're changing where you're up and down. Your x-axis is the across axis. So any time you change that, you're either going left or right. Minus numbers will move you left. Positive numbers will move you right. So right arrows change by right key press, change by there we are, and left key minus 20. Good. So now if we click start and press up, we got up, down, left, and right. Perfect. Brilliant. So we'll move these out of the way. There we go. That's okay. And what we'll also say is that when start clicked, we'll move the frog here to the bottom middle. Now, here's a little trick. So look to kind of events when start clicked. We need to move him, and we need to set his X and his Y coordinates here, so go to. But if you look here carefully, you'll see that as I move the frog around the place here, those coordinates change automatically. So if you want to start him here, all you do is drag him where you want him to start, and it's already changed it there, and then put 0 there, because then it's exactly perfect center. 0 in the middle, with the x-axis 240, minus 240, 180 for the y-axis, minus 180 will bring you down here. So minus 150 over 157 gets you there. Good. So now, if I move him anywhere in the world, if I press start, he goes back to the beginning. Brilliant. Okay, so we've got the frog going there. What we need to do now is we need to get our vehicles in there. So let's do the car first. So where's my car? Convertible 2. There we go. Brilliant. And we'll do the same thing with the car. So events. When start clicked, we'll move him over here. He's going to start on the left-hand side and go right, I think. So again, the car's a bit too big. So we'll click onto costumes. Make him a bit smaller. You can make him smaller. You can change his design. There we go. Perfect. And make sure that he's over the crosshair again. Now let's move him there. That's good. So maybe we could get 4 cars on there if we wanted to. And same thing here. Go back to the code. When he's clicked, I've got him in the place where I want him to start. And when start press, go to. And now he's already in the right place. So even if he's over here, when I press start, it goes back to the beginning. Good. So there you go. So there's my car. He's in the right position. Now to get him to move to the right, all we're going to do here is we're going to get him to drive along. Now, moving the car and moving the logs, we're going to move them all, and they all need to go at the right times, which means that we need to do things every so often. And the way we're going to control how we do them is we're going to set up a little clock, a little imaginary clock inside of the game, and the clock's going to tick. And every time the clock ticks, we'll move the car along a little bit. So how do we do that? Well, we go to the stage. There we go. Click on the stage, and we just set ourselves up a clock. So we go when start clicked, and forever. And what we'll do is we'll broadcast a new message, and this is called tick. It's a click tick of the clock. And we're going to broadcast tick, so that means the clock's going to go. And then we're just going to wait a small amount of time before it ticks again. I'm going to choose 0.005 for the moment. That's got a bit small. Let's move that bigger. There we go. 0.005. So every 0.005 seconds, it will tick, tick, tick. And this broadcast sends a message to everything else in the game to say, okay, here's we've just ticked, and then do something if you want to. So with the car, what's going to happen is we're going to say when I receive tick, so when I receive the message that it's ticked, all we'll do is we're going to change his X coordinate, change the X coordinate, There you go, by a certain amount. But how much is it going to change by? Well, we don't really know yet because we're going to mess about with it a bit. So what we're going to do now is we're going to make a variable called car. Let's call it car1 velocity. There we go. Car1 velocity. There we go. Brilliant. And at the start of the game, we'll set the car1 velocity to... let's say 7. Let's see how far that goes. See how well that goes. And now what we do is that when it ticks, all we'll do is we'll change the car1 velocity, which is the speed in this direction, by... we'll change his x position by what his speed is. So now, if we click start, off he goes. Brilliant. If I click start again, he will go all the way over to there. But at the moment, what's happening is as soon as he gets to this end here, he stops. And that's because we're trying to increase his X position, but of course he's got to the edge of the screen, and so he's stuck. So what do we need to do? Well, that's nice and simple, really. All we do is we say, okay, if we've got to the end, so we say here, we say if his X coordinates, if his X position is greater than the edge of the screen, which is 240. If his X position is greater than 240, then we need to change his X position to minus 240, which will teleport him back to here and make him look like he goes vroom, vroom, vroom straight along. So change X, or where's set X? Set X to minus 240. There we go. And now if we press start, brilliant. Good. So there's our first car, and we've got a variable here called velocity. Now that's actually really quite useful because now what happens is if, let's say, we get past level 1 and we want to make the game harder, all we do is we change the car velocity by 1 or by 2. So because you're changing this variable by 2, it automatically changes the speed of the vehicle. So you can have a little rule that says, okay, at the end of each level, just speed up each of the cars. It'll make it harder. Good. Brilliant. Okay, so that's working like that. We also want to now do the same for the next vehicle. So this one, let's do... so look at a lorry or something. A lorry? You could choose whatever vehicle you want, but I'm going to go with a lorry. Or I will do if I can find it. No, we'll do the bus next. There we go. So there's my bus. And I think I'll put the bus down the bottom, and we'll keep it going in the same direction as the car. So costumes, make that smaller. Yeah, he's not the right speed, right size. Drag him over that little X again. There he is. I want to make him a little bit bigger. It's a tiny, tiny bus. There we go. And also here, if you look, we'll click on the flip horizontal so that he's driving the right way. And this time, all we'll do is we'll do exactly the same thing as all of this code here. So we don't want to type it all over again because surely there must be some of this we can copy. So what we'll do here is we'll just drag this code here over the bus and that code here over the bus. So now our bus has pretty much got the same code. We need to set something called, let's call it car2 velocity, because we're going to do car1, car2, car3. I know it's a bus, but I'm going to stick with a car naming. So car2 velocity. There we go. Car2 velocity. Actually, this is x velocity. There we go. So now we've created a new variable called car2 velocity. Really should have called it vehicle2 velocity, but I'm not being too pedantic. There you go. His velocity is only 4. His start position, well, his x, how far across, is the same, but his y coordinate wants to be lower. So let's try minus 100. Let's see where that starts. Nearly. Okay. Let's try minus 130. Ooh, imagine. Minus 130. Good. And this time, all we need to do is we need to swap this bit where it's changing the car1 velocity for car2 velocity. And now, there we go. So hopefully, Hey, brilliant. So we've now got 2 vehicles moving along, and you can duplicate this for as many vehicles as you like. But for the sake of this example, I'm just going to do 1 more vehicle. So let's go here and choose another sprite. Where has that bus gone? There's a lorry, truck. I don't know where it's gone. Is it a truck maybe? Ah, yeah, truck. There we go. So we got a truck here. Again, let's make him smaller. Ooh, big truck, that'll do. Let's just zoom out a minute. Nice big truck. Make it a bit smaller to fit with the size of the others. And then make sure it's over the middle of there. Yeah, that's better, isn't it? So we'll put him in the middle. Again, you can choose whatever you want. Make your truck a bit smaller. I'll make him a bit smaller because he looks ridiculous against that bus. Maybe make the bus a bit bigger. There we go. Okay, so there's the truck, which is good. And again, we're going to keep the same sort of code. Drag that one in. Drag that one in. Now this time, he's going to start over here on the right-hand side. So his x-coordinate is probably going to be at 209 rather than minus 209. And his y-coordinate maybe minus 100. Let's have a look. Maybe minus 80. Let's try that. Yeah, good. Now you'll probably notice he's driving backwards, which isn't much use. So what we'll do instead there is we need to change this one here. What we do here is we change, instead of doing the what's that, 4, we'll do minus 4 so that he's going left rather than right. And also what we'll do, create another variable, call it car3 velocity. Car3 velocity. Get rid of that. Put car3 velocity. And now what we'll do, he will be going the right way this time, but here he'll get stuck, and that's because this bit here, we need to swap that out for this time. We say, okay, when his x position is less than minus 240, then we put him back to plus 240. So because he's going the opposite direction, it needs to be the opposite way around. There we go, brilliant. So we've got 3 pieces of transport there at the moment. Brilliant. So what we really want to happen here, though, is that when the frog gets hit by the bus or the car, he dies and goes back to the middle, to the bottom middle here. So how do we do that? Well, we need to talk to the frog here, and we say, okay, when our little tick happens here, so the same thing, when I receive tick, if I'm touching any of those vehicles, then, I don't know, make a sound of boop and then go back to the start. Maybe take 1 off your score when we got a score set up. So how do we do that? Well, we use the if statement, and we've got 3 vehicles, so we'll put 3 of those in there. Oh, actually, no, we don't have to do 3. We'll do an OR. There we go. So if, and we need an OR in here, because we need 3 ORs, and we'll put an OR inside of the OR, because we're going to say if touching vehicle 1, or touching vehicle 2, or touching vehicle 3, then we're going to go back to the start. So how do we do that? Well, we use the sensing, and we use this touching, and you can choose here these 3. What I will do now, though, is I'll just rename these to car 1, car 2, car 3. The reason being, I know they're not cars, but it just makes it easier to read and to debug. So there you go. If touching car 1, or touching car 2, or touching car 3. So if any of those situations, we're touching 1, 2, or 3, then what we'll do is we will send the frog back to the start. So motion, we can just duplicate that, can't we? Go back to the start, and we'll do a sound. Play the sound pop. There we go. You could change the sound by clicking on sounds and picking other sounds if you want, but I'm not going to do that. You can do it. Choose whatever sounds, like a squishing sound or something. So let's have a look. Go to, yeah, let's see how that works. So there we go, brilliant. So anytime it hits anyone, there you go. Yeah, that's working. Boom, there you go, brilliant. So now that part of the game is working. He's touching, and he's getting sent back to the start. Good. So that's all good so far. We don't need to use these now, so let's just hide those so we don't have to see them in our game. Brilliant. And now what we'll do is we will create the logs. So how do we do that? Well, we do a similar sort of thing with the logs. We haven't got a log option here, so I'm just going to use a box or a button or something. Hey, a button, that will do. So I'll use a button. Again, you can create your own logs from scratch, but using the paint tool and stuff. But for the sake of a game, for the tutorial, I'm just going to use these ones. By all means, you can follow me if you want, do what I'm doing, or just create your own that look even better. So I'll change the fill there. Put the saturation up so I can see what colour actually you want for brown. There we go, there's one side of the log. Good. And now we'll do this side. Saturation. Back up to brown. Oh, there we go. So that's my log, that will do. I'm quite happy with that. Again, you can make a better looking log. So, similar sort of thing with the log. Let's get him to start in the right position. So we'll use this sort of set here. There we go. And all we do here is we'll just copy this over. Over to the log. So again, we're going to have to create a velocity for the log. So at the start of the game, variable log velocity, or log1 velocity, isn't it? Log1 velocity. And let's say him to 5 or something, and we'll go to the start. He needs to be right up here though, so I think maybe that's his y coordinates about 180 or something, or maybe even 200. Let's try that. Oh no, he's oh, no, it won't be 200 because 200 there. Maybe 160. Let's have a look. 140. Ooh. 125. Excellent, good. I've actually put that over there, haven't I? Yeah, that's okay, good. So, it's about there. You're probably going to need it about there, maybe a little bit lower. It depends on how many logs you've got. Yeah, that'll do. Okay, so again, when start clicked, there you are. Set the car velocity to log1 velocity to 5 and go to that position. And then we're going to use the tick thing. So when I receive tick, all we do is we move by change the x coordinates, change x by whatever the log velocity is. So log1 velocity, good. So there you go, it's moving over there. Brilliant. So we're doing okay there. However, what we need to do, if you look at these logs, they don't go keep going across. They actually bounce left and right. So how are we going to get them to bounce left and right? Well, that's nice and easy, because all we need to do is say, when we get to this end, reverse the velocity to its minus velocity. And when it gets back to the other end, just again swap it out. So how would we do that? Well, we just use an if statement, and let's use an if statement. There we go. So what we say is, okay, if the x coordinate is greater than 240, if the x position is greater than 240, then what we do is we set the or do we reverse it? Yeah, let's have a go. So if the x position is greater than 240, what we do is we reverse the velocity. So how do we do that? Well, that's actually really quite easy. We say, okay, set the log1 velocity to zero minus log1 velocity. And that will make it the opposite to what it is. Let's have a look at that. There you go, perfect. And we do exactly the same here with the other way around. So if our x position is less than minus 240, again we set log 1 velocity to 0 minus log 1 velocity, and it will make it go opposite. Let's just watch that. Just watch the velocity there. Hey, so it goes 5, minus 5, 5, minus 5. And that's all it does each way around. So there you go, that's log 1 done. Let's rename that to log 1. And here, log 1, duplicate for log 2. Let's go on to log 2. Again, now we go to variables, log 2 velocity. And we change all these to the new velocities. There you go. Log 2 velocity, log 2 to velocity, log 2, log 2, log 2. And now, hopefully, log 2's in the wrong place. So let's go here. Let's say it's y to 8 at the start. There we go. And you know, they're both going at the same speed, but I don't really want that. So let's set this one to 8 or something like that. There we go. And now they all start moving at different speeds. Good. Excellent. So now what I do is we've got log 2, duplicate that for log 3, and then again make another variable, log 3 velocity. There you go. Log 3, so log 3, log 3, log 3, log 3, log 3, log 3. And this one, let's set him to 2. Let's do 2. And 80. Let's try that. Oh, is that no good? 40, maybe? Let's try that. Hey! Brilliant. So there you can see we've got the 3 logs that are moving. So now what we need to do is we need to say, okay, when my frog touches the log, the frog needs to, because at the moment if you look here, not a lot happens. If I go into the, if I touch the log, my frog A is behind it, and B, it doesn't move with the log, whereas on my other game here, if you click on it, oops, you'll see that the frog moves with the log, just like that. There we go. So what we do there is we need to get the frog to move with the log. So how do we do that? Well, here in the frog code, there we go. All we need to do is we need to say, okay, if I'm touching that log, then I need to move with the log. So how to do that? Well, okay, we just use an if statement. So, there we go. There we go. But actually what we'll use, this time we're going to use an if-else statement. And the reason being is that there is a chance that I might be touching both logs at the same time. And if I were to do that whilst I'm moving, then it would actually sort of get stuck and go backward, left and right, and therefore I'd just die. So what we're going to say is only check for one, and then if it's touching that one, then don't move for the other one as well. So we'll just use an if-else, and then another if-else inside of that. So there we go, and finally we'll do an if. So it's going to be an if-else with the other thing in the else, another thing there with an if-else with the if inside of the else section. And now what we can do is we can do the touching, and here we go, log 1, log 2, log 3. There we go. So if touching log 1, what the frog's going to do is it's going to move its x position along with the same speed, same velocity as the log. So how do we do that? Well, all we do is we need the variables. So change x by, let's grab those all in there. Change x by the correct velocity. Log 1, log 2, log 3. And we just drag in log 1, log 2, log 3. Oh yeah, boom, boom, boom. There you go. If else, good. Brilliant. There we are. So now, hopefully, if we get up to here, there you can see it. So now, if my frog is touching the log, it moves with the log. There you go. And it moves wherever the log is moving, and we can hop up there. Good, brilliant. Now what we also want to say is, okay, if we're not touching the log, but we are touching the water, then again we drown and go back to the start. So how do you do that? Well, what we do here is we do another if statement, and we say, okay, if we are not touching the log, so if we are not touching, oh no, we'll do if touching the water. We'll do it the other way around first. So we'll say, okay, if touching colour the blue. So if we're in the water, there you go. And now we'll put another if statement in there. And if we are not, there we are. This time again, we're going to use an or, a bit like this, like we did up there. Make sure your or is inside of your not. Okay. So now, touching log 1. On log. So if we're not touching log 1 or log 2 or log 3, then we will go back to here. There you go. Go to, bring it back, go back to the bottom there. So let's just try that. So if we are touching the blue and we're not touching a log, then we go back to the start. Let's have a look. Oh no, I'm good. Let me up. So let's have a look. So the moment we're okay. We're okay there, but if I go here, oh, why did it go there? Oh, that's why. Because his y is not -3, it's going to be minus 180. There we go. That's brilliant. Oh, minus 170 or something? Minus 170. So whatever we said here at the start, minus 157. Okay, well that'll do. There you go. So now, if we go hit the water, then he dies and goes back to the start. We also want to play that pop sound as well. So play sound pop. Good. Let's just check that. There we go. Brilliant. Okay, we've got that sorted. We can hide this log velocity now as well. Let's go to your variables. Good. So now we're just about there. All we need to do now is get it so that if it touches the fly, we score a point and go back to the beginning, and then we can talk about how we might change the make it harder as the level goes on. So what are we going to do there? Well, all we need to do now is we need to get a fly. Now, if you go to choose a sprite, you'll find that there isn't a fly, which is a little bit annoying. However, on Frog 2 here, there is a little fly in that top right corner. So what we can do here is we can actually cheat. Go to this Frog 2, there's our fly, so let's just delete the frog, drag the fly into the center there, and make him a bit bigger. There we go. Perfect. We don't need these other costumes here, so get rid of those, and we'll call him Fly instead. Good, there you go. Brilliant. Good. So there we got a fly. Let's move him up to the top. Now the fly, what he's going to do, he's going to start at any one of these positions, there, or there, or there, or there. So his Y position, how far up and down, isn't going to change, but his X position is. It's going to go to either here, or here, or here, or here. So how do we get it to move to a set position? Well, we can use a list here. And let's call this make a list, fly, position, and we could actually add 4 possible x coordinates to its fly position. So let's just hide that. So here it's probably going to be about minus, if you go to motion, you'll be able to see it here. Go to, so is x there is minus 175, so let's put minus 175 as the first possibility. Drag him along, minus 70, drag him along, minus 46, oh no, 46, and finally 156. There you go. So those are the 4 possible x positions that it could be at. So all we need to do here is say, okay, when start is clicked, all we're going to do is we're going to move him to a random position. So what we'll do though is we'll create a new message, and let's call this move fly. We're going to a new broadcast of a message, and what we'll do here is just when start click, we'll add all those to there. But we'll also clear the list just in case any stuff's left from the previous list. So at start clicked, we're going to do all that, and then we're going to broadcast move fly, move the fly. When I receive move fly, what we're going to do is, oh actually, let's also set his y coordinate to wherever he is. Set him to the right position, there we go. Because we're only going to set the x position. Now we're going to set the x position now to a random one from this list. So how do we do that? Well, it's nice and easy. We use the random, we generate a random number between 1 and 4, because that's how many items there are in this list. And here in the list options, there is item, there we go, item something of there. And that now, what we'll do is each time this code runs, it picks a, oh we can just start that a minute. There you go. Each time we run this block, it chooses a random one from that list. You can see it there each time I click it. It's getting a random from that list. And now, if we put that into that X position there, then every time we run this code, it goes to a random position. There we go. Perfect. So how do we get the frog to eat the fly? Well, that's nice and simple. All we do is add another if statement here at the bottom here, and we just say if touching the fly, then we again go back to the beginning, go back to the bottom, and we also broadcast move fly. So that'll move the fly. So if the frog touches the fly, we move the frog back to the bottom, and we move the fly to a new position. But we also want to increase the score by 1. But at the moment we haven't got a score, so we need to create a new variable, call it score. And at the start of the game, let's say here when start clicked, we'll put that on the frog. Set the score to 0. There we go. And every time we touch the fly, broadcast move fly, and we'll change the score by 1. So now, there we go. If I hop along here, and I can successfully avoid all the cars, jump onto there. Oh, hey, there you, oh, bit of a glitch. So it has done it, but if you notice, my fly was a little bit low, so that even though I was here, I touched the fly. So what we want to do there is just move, let's put that at 150, so it's a little bit higher. So let's have a look. Yeah, there you go. So it's not going to accidentally touch me. I also might want to move that log. Which log is that? Let's just stop that. That's that log 2. Maybe set its Y coordinate a little bit lower than what it is. Let's try 115. That's better. So you're not going to accidentally touch the fly until you actually jump off and get it. Good. So that's pretty much our game done, apart from the levels. And to do the levels, it's nice and simple. All we have to do here is say, okay, here on the stage, we'll do the stage because the stage is going to control the levels. When I receive move fly, we know that that therefore means that he's successfully done it. We need to make things a little bit harder. So all we do is we just change all of these velocities by 1. There we go. So we change car velocity 1 by velocity, change 2 velocity by 1, change 3 velocity by 1. Now we've got a slight problem here with the logs, because of course they might be minus number. So we don't know whether to increase. We don't know whether we need to increase or decrease these. So if it was -8, then it's going to need to go to -9. So changing by 1 isn't going to work. So we need to be a little bit cleverer for the log velocities, and we just say just an if else, and we say okay, if the log velocity is greater than 0, if log 1 velocity is greater than 0, then it needs to go up. Change log velocity by 1. Otherwise, change log 1 velocity by -1, which again decreases it, so it goes even higher. So there's 1. Duplicate. Duplicate. Again, you can mess around with these values as much as you like. Change that to log 2. Log 2. Change all these to log 2. Oh, that's log 3, isn't it? Log 3. Log 3. Log 2. Log 2. There you go. So log 1, log 2, log 3, and now hopefully, if I get across here successfully the first time, we will see an increase in speed. Whoa, already going quite fast on that one. Let's have a look. Oh no, I missed it. Oh, no good. Let's see. There we are. Let's try again. Ooh. Okay, we got a slight issue here. I think my logs are a little bit thin, and so my frog's not actually touching the logs. So what we need to do there is just go back to the logs, just make your logs a little bit thicker so that you're going to be able to actually touch the logs. Again, it's just a bit of debugging. That should be fine now. It's because of where I moved him down to the bottom. So just bring them slightly thicker, and you can just check, make sure it works. I think that log 1 there, not log 1, which is that one? That one, maybe just move him a little bit lower. Let's try that. So again, maybe make your frog a little bit bigger, check the gap. Again, just debugging, or change the... There you go. That's more like it now. Whoop. Oh no. There we go. Let's make sure it's working. Ooh! Let's start again. Quick. Oh no. Ah yeah, it's that first one there. It's a little bit high. Where's he at? That one. We'll move him. We'll start his Y. Let's do him at 35. There we go. Maybe I need to move my frog up a bit. Let's have a look. That's more like he's there. No? Okay, I know what the problem is here. I've made a slight mistake. No. If he's touching... See, at the moment, we've got a slight issue that actually if he's here, if you notice he's still on the ground here, but he's touching the water. What we want to say is, okay, if he's touching the blue and he's not touching purple. And we can do that. So we say, there we go, if touching blue and not touching purple. Let's use the eyedropper. There we go. And that should fix it. So if he's touching blue and he's not touching purple, then you know he's in the water. There we are. There you go. You can see that it's fine now. Let's try that. Ooh. There we go. And there we go. Now hopefully things will have sped up there. except for that lorry, because I've just realised that the lorry, of course this lorry here, his car velocity was -4, so car 3, you needed to increase that. So, no. -1. Again, just a bit of debugging. You got to check these things to make sure it's all working right. And as you can see, they're all moving quicker. There you go. Okay, so that's the tutorial done. That should all be working fine. The score's increased, and every time you get it, it should go a little bit faster. Let me just check my. What I'll do is I'll just check all these. Let's add. Just display them over here. It's sometimes a good idea just, and I'll move my score down there, just to check them, make sure that it is working as it should be working. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, 5. Car 1, car 2. Where's my car 3? Yeah, it's there somewhere. Oh, it's hiding. There you go. So let's try again. So 5, 8, 5, 3, 5, 6, 9. There we are. Let's try this. So we go to there. I'm hoping to see these get bigger. So we'll just make sure. There we go. So hopefully now, there you go. 10, 4, 6, 9. Perfect. Brilliant. So those are now getting faster, which is good. That's exactly what we wanted to make the game harder. And it will just keep on going. Oh. There you go, 10, 11, so it's going up and up and up and faster. If you want the game to get harder quicker, then just change those numbers from 1 to 2 or 3 and -1, etc. And it will keep getting harder and harder. Also, what you can do with the game is you can set it so that there's a 30-second timer. So you have to pass the level in 30 seconds, otherwise it's game over. You might also want to limit the number of lives, so set a variable to lives, all those sorts of improvements. But there you go, there's the basic game. It's certainly enough to get you started. Good luck. If you have any questions, post a comment in the links in the YouTube video. And if you like the channel, please do subscribe. Thank you very much.